क्या चाहिए रे तेरे को?
Hey guys, welcome to Recap Pro. In this video, I am gonna discuss the very famous South Indian movie, KGF Chapter 1. As you might have deduced, it is a pan-India movie, and when you watch it, you get an indigenous John Wick kind of vibe. Enough about it, let's get started with the story. There will surely be spoilers in the video, as usual, so be prepared. The movie starts by introducing the fictional Prime Minister of then India, a woman named Ramika Sen, who is seen to be signing a document. She hesitates for a second and tells the government officials in the room that he had heard about demons before, but now she had laid her eyes on one for the first time, and that no one should know about his story or read about it anywhere. She enforces a death warrant for India's biggest criminal, Rocky. In the second scene, we are introduced to a high-profile reporter, who is reading a slightly burnt book named El Dorado. She exclaims saying that the book is full of trash and has a lot of careless writing and story, and how a senior journalist could consider writing a book such as that. She is then revealed to be the top journalist of a popular news channel, and her boss tells her that the journalist who wrote the book is his close acquaintance for 50 years, and that man thinks 100 times before writing a single word. He questions her, saying that a person as careful as him penning a book like that, and the government taking a special interest in that book and banning it off the shelves, and burning all the remaining copies which were published, may very well be something special. The head journalist, named Deepa, replies that she will just be giving him half an hour of her time. Then we are introduced to a comical side character who trembles while serving Deepa her beverage, since she was very fearsome in their office. The journalist arrives, and she starts questioning him about the El Dorado about which he wrote, and he replies by saying that he will tell her the true story. The journalist is named Anand, and he tells her that in the old days, many kings had heard a rumor about a city of gold, and lost a lot of their armies in search of it. The person who would find it would have been a very powerful king, and his book was about one such person. The El Dorado in question was found near the town of KGF, by a mafia leader named Surya Vardhan. He came across a huge reserve of gold in a mine, in which there was gold just scattered across like plain stones. To lay his hands on the reserves, Surya Vardhan killed every witness present there and leased the land by putting up a front of limestone mining, while in reality, many people were being forcibly carried into the land and made to go to work in the mines. He chooses and appoints 4 powerful people as partners for controlling his empire, with specific tasks distributed between them. Kamal converts the raw material to gold in his factories. Rajendra Desai, who takes care of the logistics, Andrews, a man who controls the whole western coast, and Guru Pandayan, a leader who was the head of the government's ruling party. Excluding these people, his brother and elder son, Adhira and Garuda, were responsible for the military shrewdness and safety of KGF. But one day, due to a stroke, Surya Vardhan collapsed, and KGF was in danger for the first time. The day Surya Vardhan found KGF, our protagonist was also born, to a poor single mother, who was herself barely an adult. In the next scenes, we see her facing many lewd remarks and challenges in her life to raising that boy on her own, when finally she gets cancer of some kind due to prolonged exposure to fumes, and before dying, makes her son promise that he will die as the richest person in the world. What follows is his journey to Mumbai in search of money and fame. In Mumbai, our lead starts working as a shoe polisher for a man, who was once approached by a goon with a job. It was to hit a policeman. The boss replies that nobody has the guts to do it, when our young hero raises his hand and actually hits the policeman twice in a brothel street, once for the job, and the second time to tell his name Rocky to the policeman. A local gold smuggling gang leader, named Shetty, takes him into custody, and when our hero is asked by the boss why he went to hit a policeman, he replies that if you hit someone, the police look for you, but if you hit the police, a don looks for you. A henchman asks him what he wants, and the hero replies that he wants the whole world. Look, this is just a kid who's like 10 or 12, and we see his determination there. What follows is a rival contender trying to take over Mumbai city's gold smuggling business by starting a gang war, when our protagonist is an adult. Little does he know that Rocky is a man who's more cunning than a fox. He gets beat up by all his enemies and lures everyone into a single spot, and then proceeds to kill every single man on his own. He just signals to everyone that though he works for someone else, he's the king of the ports and the real authority. Then, Rocky is approached by Andrews, one of the partners of Surya Vardhan, and is tasked with the assassination of someone. He promises Rocky that Mumbai will be given to him if he successfully finishes the job. Realizing that Andrews had promised him a whole city just out of spite, he goes to Bangalore to investigate the source of this unimaginable control over everything. In Bangalore, Rocky meets the rebellious daughter of another partner, Rajendra Desai, and falls in love with her. To nobody's surprise, he thrashes some goons and introduces himself to her. On the other hand, she is already engaged to Kamal, who gets angry and takes it upon himself to find the man responsible. Andrews warns him and tells his partner that Kamal should be kept out of Rocky's sight, otherwise Kamal may end up dead. Andrews' associate explains the details of the job to Rocky, which is to assassinate Garuda. The associate explains to Rocky that there was an election office to which Garuda was invited, and he will surely appear. There are two approach roads, one is a highway and the other is a very small road with markets and stalls. Rocky asks him about the meeting, and the associate replies that if the meeting is not utilized to assassinate Garuda, all hope will be lost, as he will be untouchable at his home in KGF. Rocky just nods along and starts doing his own investigation, when he meets Reena again. Rocky tangles with Reena, Rajendra Desai's daughter, in a hilarious manner, and in a typical Hollywood way, makes her fall in love with him. While he acts as her driver, he notices the trucks containing the gold he smuggled coming towards them. In order to continue the pursuit of truth, he climbs one of the trucks and then comes face to face with the business owners. He then reaches a conclusion and orchestrates a drama in such a way that he ends you dancing in a nightclub that belongs to Reena, where Kamal accosts him with his goons. He challenges Rocky to touch Reena if he dares while facing a group of hooligans with loaded rifles at point-blank range. What happens next is a hilarious interaction, where Rocky goes out of the pub, and crashes gasoline-loaded oil into the pub, flooding the area with oil, and then walks out casually with an unlit cigarette in his mouth. As soon as the goons try to shoot him, he lights up a match, which causes them to tremble and escape, and then Rocky, as a protagonist should, displays his chivalry by saying he doesn't touch women without their consent. Things escalate so much that Rajendra Desai himself comes to the club, which turns out to be Rocky's plan all along. Rocky then reveals the way he was going to assassinate Garuda, the son of Surya Vardhan, and says that Garuda was going to use the second clumsy road, since all the stalls and market people were his own henchmen, and killing him would be really impossible there. He then asks them that everyone would have no weapons inside the office, and if he had a gun inside, he could do away with Garuda for good. The next scene which follows is a really cool gun assembling scene, and we see Garuda for the first time. There was supposed to be an inauguration of Surya Vardhan's statue, which was covered under wraps, but as soon as Garuda begins to approach the dais, all the servants pull out guns and clear a path for him, signaling his cleverness and reach. He then pulls the wrap, and everyone is shocked to see a statue of Garuda and escapes from there. The four partners, along with Rocky, meet and discuss their future, when Kamal tries to shoot Rocky. Rocky volunteers that he would kill Garuda in his own house at KGF, and sets off on this suicide mission, by memorizing half map of KGF, and with instructions to find the other half inside it. He also is told to give a big signal if his plan is almost gonna succeed. He bypasses the security in a big one-man army-themed fight and disguises as one of the forced laborer party who were forcibly being taken to KGF to work in the mines. What follows is our first look at the Narachi mines, KGF, where people are treated worse than animals, and soldiers with guns are posted all over, who kill and torture people for sport or if they even cross a small rule. Rocky slowly adapts to the life of a worker, and one day, he creates a diversion and discovers one of the tunnels leading from KGF to Garuda's mansion, which he marks on the map by mistake. The chief of Garuda's army discovers the mark, assembles all the workers in that division, and asks the person responsible for that to come forward, otherwise, they would kill every single person. There was a pregnant couple in the crowd, who were expecting a baby. The husband looks at Rocky and then goes in front of the crowd and sacrifices himself in order to save his wife and unborn child. Next comes the brutal killing of one mother and her son just because they crossed a line. The day after, it was the soldiers scaring the people away by shooting at them, denying access to their food. Rocky remembers his mother encouraging him to stand strong and be better, and he makes his way towards the grains and fearlessly brings them to the workers, who revere him as a hero. Meanwhile, in Garuda's house, his father Surya Vardhan passes away, and Garuda prepares 3 men as sacrifices to the local deity in a pilgrimage scheduled for the night. Moved by this, Rocky tries to shake off the alien feelings, but then one day, one of the workers takes an old man who became blind into the mines to kill for sport. Rocky times his attack perfectly, killing all the other militia present in the mines and rescuing the old man, which wins the support of the suppressed workers. Rocky orders them to burn the bodies of all the soldiers in a big fire, which distracts everyone on the grounds. It is then revealed that Rocky is still alive by the brother of Garuda, who tells the partners that Rocky has sent a signal that he is alive and the plan is near completion by creating a huge fire on the grounds, and he is the one who also kills Surya Vardhan, his father, to pave the way for Rocky. Rocky then short-circuits the lights near the tunnel entrance and makes way towards the house of Garuda, which is on the night of the pilgrimage. We then get told that the brother of Garuda orchestrates the whole diversion, and he is the ally of the 4 partners inside KGF. Rocky disguises himself as one of the men who were scheduled to be slaughtered and patiently waits for a chance. The chief of militia conducts an investigation, realizes the pattern which goes to the tunnels leading to Garuda's house, and rushes to warn Garuda since the signals of walkie-talkies would be down during the pilgrimage. Garuda beheads 2 of the gluttons, but when the time for the third one's death comes, the third man disappears into the water body, emerges out with Garuda's sacrificial blade, and kills him in a single stroke. The video gets silent and indicates the reverberations of the attack throughout the KGF. The partners are informed about the assassination being successful, and Rocky's intentions are then finally revealed. We are finally told that Rocky had done all that to raise an army for himself, who was ready to die for his, as they owed him their life, and then the big surprise is revealed, that Rocky had laid his eyes on KGF the moment he was promised Mumbai as a child's toy. KGF is finally free of the tyrannical rule, but then new enemies are revealed, one being Adhira, the brother of Surya Vardhan, and Ramika Sen, a contender to Guru Pandyan's political career. We are left with a cliffhanger that says there will be another chapter to this story, which was released recently. So guys, how did you find it? Was it good? Do watch the film and leave your comments below.